Oh, yeah. Oh, am I actually doing that?
Oh, no, am I doing the thing?
Yeah. I like
okay, here we go. And we're live. What's up, everybody? And welcome to the Hardwood Homies.
Welcome.
It's
It's not a bad intro. No, we're coming at you with a new intro. New week. We're a day late. Some things came up yesterday, but we're not forgetting about it for the week. So yeah, welcome to another episode. What should we start with?
Well, I think we got to start with Saturday. Big, crazy,
historic Saturday.
Historically, one of the craziest days of college basketball, maybe ever in the regular season.
I would agree. Yeah. Okay. So the big historic thing we're kind of talking around is 7 AP top 10 teams lost Saturday. We had. So I'm going to start out west.
We'll start with one.
Well, yeah, Gonzaga lost. They went to most of them were road games too. Maybe all of them. Gonzaga lost at St. Mary's, who they were ranked, I believe.
Yeah, they were ranked like 22nd, 23rd, something like that.
And then Arizona lost at Colorado. Mm-hmm. Probably the most lopsided loss, to be honest.
Yeah, probably the most disappointing loss for everyone.
Like head scratching.
Yeah.
Didn't really put it in the second half. They were up, and then in the second half, they never really got close. Okay, third. I don't even know by rank. I know Kentucky lost to Arkansas.
Yeah,
was that?
Kentucky lost.
That was
I think Auburn was 3. Auburn lost to Tennessee.
That was at Tennessee, yep. And then Kentucky was at Arkansas when they lost, so that's another road game. And then Kansas lost at Baylor.
To Baylor.
And that was like a top 10 matchup.
Yeah, so that one kind of didn't really count a whole lot because there's 2 top 10 teams, so it's like But I mean, it does count.
Obviously. It does, but no, it's not like these other ones.
Yeah.
And then we had 2 others I'm trying to pinpoint.
Well, one of them was Texas Tech lost to TCU.
And actually, tell them what we're watching right now.
Oh, we've also got TCU playing Kansas right now. It's in Lawrence, and TCU's down 2 with 17 minutes left.
Yep, in the second half. So
TCU's trying to play spoiler again. So maybe they're a team that's going to be hot going into March, and maybe they make a run.
They may. I'm not sure what to think of them.
Yeah. Let's start individually. Let's talk about some of these games a little bit. Gonzaga was really interesting to me because the last couple of times I've watched them, they just look like they weren't even in the other team's class at all in the WCC. Mm. But St. Mary's, it seems like they always know exactly how to play them. It's really weird. I mean, I kind of get it because they play them twice a year, every year. Gonzaga usually plays the similar style. So, it seems like
they play each other in a big
whether they beat them all the time or not, it feels like St. Mary's has kind of found the blueprint for how to beat Gonzaga.
Really? Okay.
They really slow down the tempo of the game. They always have a point guard that's a really good passer and just kind of they grind out every single possession. They don't really attack much on the offensive glass. They get back on defense. I don't know.
Usually though, they do slow it down. But one thing in the past when they've had these big, games on ESPN around this time of year, when they don't end up winning, they're slow, but then they'll lose by 10. They got out to such a strong start. That was the biggest.
That is a big part of it.
What was the score? Was it 31-16 or maybe
at halftime? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, they were up. I think they were up 15, and Gonzaga only had 16 or so points at the half. And we're talking about a team that's
fastest.
A team that's fastest team, and I think second in the entire nation in offensive efficiency. To hold them to 16 points for a half.
Yeah, I think they must have just been having a bad game. But I mean, also St. Mary's, you have to give them credit, but it was like their 6 teams went down in the top 10, and then everyone was like, it's been a crazy Saturday. You never know. And then
they were really setting it up. Like the Gonzaga game started, and the announcers within the first couple minutes were like, oh, it's here we go again. Another team is on the ropes, and it was 2 minutes into the game. I guess they were right, but
yeah. Oh, and the other top 10, the 7th, we kind of spaced it, but Purdue lost kind of a heartbreaker at Michigan State.
Oh,
actually. So that's Michigan State, that was big for them. They've been struggling late.
Yeah. Oh, the Big Ten is the biggest confusion I've ever seen. It's the biggest confusion.
That's the new name.
It's the biggest confusion. Yeah.
No, it is a weird league. I mean, I
I don't have a single clue who's going to win that conference tournament. I'm jumping ahead a little bit.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah, actually, I mean, there's probably like 4 teams.
Right.
But now another team could sneak in.
Yeah,
and do,
exactly.
Like Michigan State.
Yeah,
that'd be weird.
even Michigan.
Yeah. Oh, no, Michigan's been doing. They're not on the bubble anymore, are they?
No, they've been notorious for a team that can slide into the Big Ten tournament unnoticed and reel off some wins.
And then Michigan State, like a few years ago, there were several years where they were good, but they had underperformed a bit, and then they win the tournament, and then everyone's like, "Oh, they're gonna go."
Yeah.
So that's a possibility too. And actually, speaking of the Big Ten, kind of something I think they were picked to finish, I want to say 10th in the Big Ten, and they have a share of the regular season title, Wisconsin, actually. So they've had a really good year. We normally
it's weird that they were picked that low.
I want to
Does
say
that seem really
10th.
Weird to you?
They definitely weren't picked to finish in the top of the country.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but I'm just saying that seems weird preseason wise. I mean, they're always towards the top half of the conference.
Well, yeah, but you think of their roster, I don't know.
Yeah, but they returned Davison.
Yeah, but I don't.
Reavers
If he's like the big guy you return, I'm not impressed.
He's a solid player.
I know he is, but he's not like enough to carry a team. I don't know.
Well, I wouldn't say carry a team, but Wisconsin never has a guy carrying the team. It's always built up of a bunch of solid.
Decker, Kaminsky, yeah, they always had a bunch of guys, shooters usually.
Yeah, but Johnny Davis, no one expected him to have his meteoric rise, and then they've got a lot of shooters.
If you have a solid team and then a guy kind of takes off and you get in a rhythm.
Well, that's the thing with college basketball is you get a bunch of good guys and then surround them with that one guy that can just go out and get a bucket whenever you need one. Late in the game when the defense really starts picking up and guarding everything, sometimes the offense just wins. And when you've got a guy like that, your offense wins a lot more than the defense, it seems, at the end of games.
Yeah, no, Wisconsin will end up, I think, they have at least a share. The team that could possibly also get part of that is Illinois.
Yeah, so they've had a really interesting year too.
They have. They were really disappointing early on, and then they keep going through different. I know, especially like early this year, like with January, a few times they looked really good, and then they would lose a game. I think they lost 2 really big games to Purdue, which that hurts.
Illinois is a super weird team to me because they statistically, like on paper, it feels like they should be really, really good, but at certain times they haven't been, and certain times they have been. I don't know, it's just really inconsistent.
Yeah,
you look at last year's team, and it's almost the exact same guys minus Io,
which is a big minus. But it's a lot of good.
It's players. A big minus, but you would think they wouldn't be quite as good as last year, but they've actually had just about as successful as this season too.
Yeah, they are a weird team. It's one of those teams you don't know what you'll get. Like they're finishing near the top of the Big Ten, maybe at the top, but
and they're a team that I could legit see making a run.
Yeah, but at the same time, you could see them lose second round to some no name. At least for me, that's kind of the way they played all year. I don't know what to think. They're more consistent than like in Alabama by quite a bit, but I kind of view them the same in their respective conferences. Almost their wild cards.
I kind of see that. They got some guards that can be really, really prolific at times, and then they can also shoot you right out of a game.
Yeah, exactly. The game against Arizona, they had 18 threes. And, if you were going to jack that many, obviously they were making them that night, but still.
Yeah, but you guys fully committed to doubling Kofi, so, I mean, they were able to
kind of
kick out. Kofi's been
he's super good, but sometimes well, no, I guess we've been over this actually. He's very consistent. I've just seen him on an off game, pretty much that.
Yeah, and even his off games we talked about last time. Yeah, his off games are 15 and 10.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't know anything for that tournament to look for, because next week, for people that don't know, all the conference tournaments. So women's is actually this week, and next week the men's conference tournaments go on, and the winners of those get an automatic bid to the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
So it's a big week.
Sunday's the last day of the regular season, I'm pretty sure, right? Or is it Saturday? It might.
I think it's probably Sunday.
Yeah.
Because I think Big Ten likes to play Sunday morning.
Seems like it.
So, but anyone in that tournament, I don't know. It's kind of crazy, like you said.
If I were to pick someone, I'd probably go Purdue, just off of talent alone, I think I lean towards picking them in the tournament. But I could see Purdue winning. I could see Wisconsin. I could see Illinois. I could see Michigan. I could see Michigan State. I mean, it just feels like it could be wide open.
Yeah, and
I don't think there's any reason why Ohio State couldn't do well with the bigs that they have. If their guards find some way to play decent.
Yeah.
I
We
don't
were
know.
talking about that. We were watching that.
Rutgers is just as capable of winning as anyone. I don't see why not.
No, yeah. With Harper Jr. and
Mhm.
who I'm trying to think. So I don't even know if I want to pick who I think would win these tournaments. I'm just thinking a team to watch for, and I'm actually picking Purdue as well. And it's like, okay, they were when they lost last week, they were number 4 in the nation. They're a top 10 team. Why does that matter? Well, they've struggled a bit more than I expected.
Yeah, they've had considering how good they looked to start the year, people thought they were going to be the number 1 team,
like the Baylor of the year almost,
yeah,
or something. Yeah, no, I kind of thought that too.
And
I was scared.
You look and you find them 4th place in the conference, 3rd, 4th, whatever they are. I think they might be 3rd, but that's pretty surprising given how good they looked early.
Well, and they've had a couple. And I know the theory, well, it depends how you look at it. You can say the tough losses make you stronger, but also eventually it gets to a point where I think it just kind of takes your momentum away because they lost a heartbreaker at Michigan State, and then they just lost on a crazy, who was that, Wisconsin, where they banked 2 threes?
Wisconsin banked in 2 threes in the last 30 seconds to beat them.
Yeah.
I was watching that. I remember the first thing I said was I would be livid if my team got 2 banked threes against them in the last 30 seconds to lose.
Yeah, no, exactly.
I was a little livid after one game this week, though.
Let's talk about it. Therapy.
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, you don't? Well, you brought it up.
I'll talk about it.
You brought it up, yeah.
I don't know. We were up 8.
Miami, by the way.
Yeah, Miami, Virginia Tech. It was our senior night. It was a big game. We win that game, we probably are in the tournament no matter what.
Yep. Virginia Tech's a tournament team, a bubble maybe.
They're out right now, but
they're close though.
But we were up 8 with a minute and a half left, and we just started. It seemed like we had been playing pretty good defense the whole game, but we got into that mode where it's like, oh, there's not much time left. Let's not foul and give them shots while they're, give them points at the line with no time running off the clock. But that turned into just giving them wide open layups because we were afraid to foul or something. So they make a couple layups. They hit a 3. And then pretty soon we can't inbound the ball. We turn it over twice on inbound plays that lead to 5 points. And they take the lead by 1.
You turn it over.
We're up to inbounding it with 15 seconds left. We throw it inbounds right to their team. They hit a 3.
Contested.
We come down and we barely even get a shot off.
Yeah, it was. You were not happy. You had to go for a walk, which that is rough, especially to give it away at the end like that. I think we talked about it though. You think Miami's fine even after beating Boston College?
I think so.
I mean, you don't want to lose out. But.
I think that we're going to be in.
Yeah.
Do I think that I think that we should be in, but if we lose our next 2, we lose our last game of the regular season at Syracuse, and then our first game of the ACC tournament, which will be a double bye quarterfinal. It's like, I think we'd still get in, but I probably wouldn't be too complacent if we don't, because it's like ending the year on a bad note.
Yeah, you don't want to give an excuse to leave out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think if we go 0-2, I still do think that we get in by the skin of our teeth. I think that we're probably in the play-in game or something, but I hope it doesn't come down to that.
Yeah, for sure. Syracuse just lost a close game to North Carolina. Actually.
Yeah, and Cole Swider had 38 or something for Syracuse.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was 37. He was 1 point away from setting the all-time record for points in that gym against North Carolina.
Really? So, okay. No, I was disappointed because, we're not a huge fan of North Carolina being seen as in the tournament. But I saw their record, and I think they have 22 wins, which is, I guess they are, but just
23.
23.
I Yeah, I think they're 23-8.
8. Yep, they have 8 losses. So I don't know. That was kind of weird to see them almost lose to a not very good Syracuse team at all. And
Syracuse is a weird team.
Yeah, and ACC.
Some teams really struggle with them because of that zone. And they're so inconsistent with their shot making. Sometimes Boeheim's on fire and Swider and Gerard. Sometimes they can beat anyone, honestly, just the way they play. But more often than not, they don't.
Yeah. It's so sad. More often than not, though.
More often than not, those guys don't hit. But when they all hit at the same time, you're in trouble.
Yeah, and with the ACC, I may have the year wrong for this, but so Duke had clinched a share of the regular season title, I think over the weekend or something, which hadn't been done for several years. But then they have it out right now, and I want to say that's the first time since 2006 when J.J. Redick was on the team, a guy who's retired from the NBA now.
That's unbelievable.
So yeah, especially for Duke, I'm like, what?
Duke has some really weird stats. The more you look at them, the more it's like they've been this great team for so long, but like, where are their NBA stars?
Yeah,
where are all the Hall of Fame Duke players? They're nowhere.
No,
you can't find them.
Their most notable,
they're good college players, and then they're
Zion. So
yeah,
that's true. Yeah,
Zion's not playing. Kyrie's got whatever Kyrie's got going on,
yeah.
But then. After that, there's a dramatic fall-off. There's not a whole lot of Duke players out there.
Yeah. Oh, that's a weird thought. And actually, I want to bring this up because earlier I was kind of half in, and I was like, yeah, I don't know what to think of them. I don't know what I said. TCU. But going to the Big 12, so right now you have, I believe, if both of the teams win out, they're going to be, tied.
Yeah, if Kansas and Baylor win out, we got a tie at the top.
Because they split when Kansas and Baylor played. Baylor won this weekend, but they split. They both won at home against each other. So those two schools will both get a share of the regular season title.
It's not going to be a gimme though. We said Kansas plays Texas on the last day.
So. No, it's not for sure. Definitely not.
And they're losing by 4 right now to TCU.
Exactly. So. This is why I want to bring this up, because this is a team, maybe, they were bubble. I'm guessing the way they've been playing, they played themselves in.
Oh, yeah. I think they're like an 8 seed right now, maybe.
Yeah, TCU, I would not pick against them unless they have a really bad matchup early on, because they beat Kansas actually earlier this week. I'm not sure if a COVID situation made them play 3 days apart, or I don't know why they're playing back to back like this. Yeah. And then they beat
Texas Tech.
Tech. That's even more impressive, I would say, actually.
Well, there was a time during the middle of the season where they were cruising. They were first in the Big 12 for a little while.
For TCU?
Yeah.
Really? Oh,
I remember one of our first couple podcast episodes. I was looking through the standings. I was like, how is TCU not getting more love? They were 15-4 on the year or something.
Oh, okay.
And they were nowhere to be seen.
And now they're 8-8 in conference.
Yeah, they've obviously they fell off pretty dramatically, but now they're starting to go back up.
And it's March, so I mean that's I don't know. I'm not saying they're the pick, but
they're not the.
Well, no, I don't know. Watch them. I want to watch them during the Big 12 tournament, just to see if they can get a win or two. I'm kind of on board with probably picking them early, but also Kansas. I've not been too okay. The Baylor game's tough, and you lose a tough one on the road, fairly close game. Then you get upset by TCU. They come out tonight, and it looks like they might lose at home, or they're going to underperform and just barely win.
They do that a lot.
That is kind of the Kansas way. But I don't know. I think you watch them too in the tournament, see. Because they tend to I don't know, lately, I've not been too impressed with how they do in the tournament. Every year they're a high seed.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I think the pick there is Baylor for me. They seem to have found something again, and that defense is just playing relentlessly. And now that the two freshmen have really started, they just keep getting better all year. Sohan and
kept calling him Sochan, but
I'm gonna lose this other guy's name, but another freshman that's a really athletic player. He's been getting better and better, and he's really starting to come along. And
I
help them out. So
want to comment about something with Sohan. We never talk about this, and I don't know. There's really not much to talk about here, but we against Kansas, he was wearing these like
lime green.
Yeah, and then his hair is colored lime green, and I think earlier this year was like maybe a white or it was a different color, but
it was like yellow.
He stands out. Yeah, it matches shoes Saturday.
Yeah.
And no, Baylor. I said Baylor and Duke. I was like one of them. I think they can make the Final Four. I think I also said Kansas. So kind of different directions there.
Did you?
I don't know. I know I said Baylor, Duke, Arizona. I'm spacing on the rest, but Baylor's really come alive. So I'd watch them in the tournament, even if they didn't. My more concern is Kansas is trending down, TCU up. What do they do? When
the Big 12 could be a roller coaster because some of the teams towards the bottom of the Big 12 have even been beating up on the big boys.
Like, what are you thinking of?
Like just even an Oklahoma team, or an Iowa State who was rolling early.
Is Iowa State even in anymore? They just got destroyed by Baylor, right?
They got destroyed by everyone lately. Anyway, so but like those are two teams that have both been playing really well at certain points of this season.
They were undefeated in January. Iowa State
was undefeated. The only games they've lost are conference.
Yeah, no, because their first big game was against Baylor at home.
Yeah,
and then it was a game. Yeah, they didn't impress me, and then they've just lost the majority of their games.
Mm-hmm. I remember they played Iowa. That was the first time I watched them. They had a big home game, rivalry game against Iowa, and they just absolutely beat the living heck out of them. It was brutal. Keegan Murray had like 4 points.
I remember actually talking
Iowa State's defense smothered them every step they took on the floor. I don't know. I thought they were pretty good at that point, and then down the ladder they fell.
I would almost describe it as more violent than that, but we won't do that. The Big East. How about, because I was actually we were talking about this a little bit, and I forget about the Big East. I don't know why, but Providence won their regular season title. Cooley's coach of the year with that.
Ever.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that. Do you think Cooley's coach of the year with that? A lot of people are thinking that.
I think so.
I would agree. I'm a little disappointed because I don't know if Lloyd has another year like that.
No, this is dang near as good of a year as Arizona's going to have. I mean, what are they, 3 losses all year?
Yeah, that's the thing. He's kind of unlucky. Obviously, he came in with good players, but he's done a really good job. Yeah. But when you run into Providence, who's never really been that good, and they've just come alive with kind of a bunch of players that you wouldn't know. Like, they don't have a Matherin who's a lottery pick at Coloco or anything. So you have to give it to him, but I kind of feel for Lloyd. So, but was it this week they lost to Villanova on the road?
Yeah.
Close game.
It was Monday.
Yeah.
No, Tuesday.
And even with that, they'd already clinched it. No, that's big. What about that tournament? I don't even know what to.
That's a weird one too. They're all going to be weird.
You can just say Villanova because
I probably would say Villanova.
But what if Providence comes out?
One team that you should watch out for is Marquette, because
where have they gone?
They have just kind of been quietly staying right where they're at. They played most of their big games early. They beat Villanova both times they played them.
I didn't know.
They have, I want to say, 4 or 5 wins against top 25 teams. I mean, they're a good team.
Oh yeah, no, you brought them up. I was wondering who you were going to talk about. And I haven't heard about them in a while.
No,
they didn't go on a big losing streak.
No, they just kind of stayed. They kind of pulled in Iowa, where they just kind of stayed right around that 6-7 seed mark, and they just kind of stayed there.
That's dangerous, kind of, because
I say Marquette is a team to watch out for, because the Big East, it feels like there's always one team that comes out of nowhere.
That's true. UConn, obviously, that's like the obvious
UConn, Kemba Walker year. But look at Georgetown last year.
And now they haven't won a game. What are they, 0-15?
Yep. Maybe even more.
I think it might be worse now, actually. But they're going to stick with Ewing for now. which was kind of weird. But their athletic director came out and said, "Hey, he did good in the tournament last year. We're sticking with him," which is very weird.
He had one good 4-game stretch.
We'll
stick with it.
It's bizarre because then they got blown out by Colorado. So Big East. I don't really have a team to watch for. I like Marquette. I like that.
That's a cop-out.
No, I like your pick. I'm not going to pretend to have – there's some conferences where I'm like TCU, it's kind of obvious, but I don't know. The Big East is a blind spot for me. Providence and Villanova, but after that, just kind of here's
UConn's good. UConn will.
And here's something.
I wouldn't be shocked if UConn won.
Okay, yeah, actually, this is one thing I have for.
I also
Big East
wouldn't be
fans.
super shocked if Creighton made a run.
Yeah, they're another solid team actually. Xavier was a solid tournament team, and I want to say I saw a stat where they had lost 8 of their last 9 or something crazy where they're playing themselves onto the bubble, and they haven't played good at all lately, but they still might get in just based on how good they were.
They beat UConn Wednesday, so that's a big win for them.
And early on in the
season,
stop
the bleeding a little bit.
Yeah, that is a big one. UConn's no joke because Xavier played Villanova early. We talked about it, and I was surprised because Villanova had looked bad, but they still took care of Xavier. And Xavier's had it bad, so they're kind of a team to watch. I don't know if you want to watch them. If they're in the bracket, maybe don't pick them. I don't know.
I think the SEC is going to be the best tournament.
I
think the SEC could be nuts this year. You've got 4 really legit Final Four contenders.
Arkansas, you've been real happy with that.
I was going to say Arkansas. But Kentucky, Auburn, Tennessee, Arkansas, those are 4 legit Final Four caliber teams, I think, in the SEC.
I don't know what to make of Tennessee. They're really impressive, but sometimes I'm like, this team could –
Tennessee is a weird team because they play so much better at home.
Yeah, it's not even close. It's kind of scary. When
they're kind of a scary.
I don't know neutral court.
Neutral court, yeah.
I assume they would travel fine, but I mean, how? I don't know if they. I should probably look early on. That may be a good indicator of how they do neutral court.
Mm-hmm.
But that's probably way back in November, those tournaments. So that's a different team at that point.
But there's some of the lower teams in that conference, like your Floridas and your Texas A&M, who's won quite a few in a row now.
Did you say, 8 in a row?
Yeah, something like that. And then Mississippi State's been playing pretty decently this year. They're kind of on the bubble. So,
And then LSU, which was so good early.
Has been just they're Marquette right there.
But they're
stay right around 7 and just kind of
What are they, 500 in conference play, right around there?
Yeah, I think so. They started off real hot, I remember.
Yeah, that big game against Auburn.
Their chaotic energy.
Yeah, I don't think they won that game. They did, yeah. They were the chaotic guys.
They've got some real chaotic energy, that LSU team. It's like watching a circus.
So ominous. But no, I agree. The one 30-second thing I saw that we talked about at the pod, it was enough to convince me of that statement.
LSU is weird circus from hell. Watch out.
Imagine being a fan. What is that like?
You're like, what do you even expect going into a game? They just show up, and pretty soon they're doing backflips off chairs. And I don't even know how to describe what they're doing. It's like
they're fun to watch.
Performing some sort of acrobatic routine out on the court, throwing the ball all willy-nilly. I don't know. They're an interesting breed of team.
Yeah, big game. What is it? Auburn plays this weekend, I believe. Is it Arkansas?
Arkansas at Tennessee.
Oh, maybe that's it. I don't think Auburn has a big game. Yeah, Tennessee has another big game at home.
Another big one.
They played Kentucky at home a week or two ago. They won that, so I wouldn't. Arkansas, that should be a really good game.
That's going to be a really interesting.
Because Arkansas has looked kind of unstoppable as of late, and then Tennessee can win at home easily. So
what is Arkansas won 15 of their last 16 now, something like that.
Right. You would know better.
Their one game they lost was on the road against Bama by 1 point. So it's I don't know.
Yeah, that's another good tournament. I don't want to dwell on this.
We didn't even mention Alabama, but they're a team that could easily win the SEC.
But I don't even know what
they catch fire at the right time.
Yeah, I don't know. Don't throw money there. Yeah, obviously you could be the guy or the girl who like throws it there, and then they get hot and they make you look like a genius. But it's real. Yeah, that's a risky.
It's
pick.
hard to rely on an inconsistent team to find their stride at the exact right time
and not lose it. Like they're a team that where I would almost be like they would get hot a game or two and then they're just crashing.
Well, what reminds me of that is that Texas A&M team that had Robert Williams on it that year.
They played what?
So they won their first game. They were like a 7 seed. I think they won their first game. It was close. I think they beat Providence. Okay. Then they come out. They're going to play UNC, who I'm pretty sure was the defending champions from the year before. They come out and they just obliterated them. They were making every single three they took. They blocked every shot North Carolina shot. And they won by 30.
Oh, yeah.
So I was thinking, holy smokes, this Texas A&M team might be Final Four good. They've got bigs that are crazy athletic. They've got guards that can play and shoot. They come out against Michigan, and they get beat by 30 the very next game. So it's like, I don't – that's the way I see Alabama. They could just come out and just obliterate someone, and you'd think, holy smokes, Alabama's back.
It's a good comparison, like a historical comparison with college hoops. I like that. No, yeah. We were seeing that the other day, actually. So, no, that is weird. Alabama's there. I just don't want to mention them because I'm not even going to make a statement about them.
You don't respect the Crimson Tide.
I respect them, but I'm not going to – not enough to do anything where my fate financially or anything else is in their hands.
Your fate financially?
Just
about to bet your house on the tournament this year?
If I had a house, no. Point being – they're risky. Have fun or don't watching them. That's your call. Let's go out west just for a second. So okay. Arizona, they won their first Pac-12 regular season title since 2018. So it's not that great of a story. Like, it's Providence or Duke even. I think they won a share of it that year. I'm not sure, but went in. They lost to Colorado, kind of a head scratcher. Like, what was that? We knew it was hard to play there, but that doesn't explain getting beat by 16 or something, maybe even worse. But then they go into USC and they scored 51 in the first half. They won by 20. I don't know. Any thoughts there? People say I want to hear what you say about this because I'm like, okay, your point. People say they have the best A game in the country, and I'm like, okay, great, but I
saw the exact tweet you're referring to.
Like when they play as good as they can, they're the best in the country. But I don't know. What do you think?
I don't have any reason to drastically disagree with that.
Okay,
I don't have any real thoughts on it because that's the thing about college basketball is that doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I'm more concerned. Which I'm very happy with how they responded.
If they can play their A game
for 6 games,
even if they play their B game the first 2 and then play their A game the next 3, then it's big. But if they can't, you never.
Well, that's the thing. I'm more concerned with them.
What's their average game? So
and what happens with Arizona? I think it's more of a question. Yeah, they lack some experience. Their point guard play is questionable at times, but the bigger thing is when they're in a dogfight, because when you're in the tournament, they're usually, unless you're just destroying people.
Unless you're Villanova in 2019.
You're going to run into a close game. And if you like to run, maybe you can't run that much that game. What happens when they run into that? Big thing if they want to jack threes and they're not falling, are they going to still play defense? Sometimes I question that with them. So I don't know. I'm more concerned – not when they're playing great. When they're playing great, I don't care if they have the best game in the country. It's like the chances of 2 good teams playing their best game all year, not that likely. It's
every once in a while you get one of those, and it's a classic. But
it's true. The dogfight is what I'm scared of. The tournament, I don't know. The Pac-12 tournament, last year, was surprisingly good. UCLA, I'm kind of curious. They've been injured. They were the favorite to win. Oregon.
UCLA is a weird team.
You don't want to play Oregon in the tournament, I don't think. Because they're right now first
Oregon
4 out.
Can be really streaky. They're almost like a Bama of the Pac-12.
Yeah, kind of.
Honestly, they're kind of a Bama of the Pac-12.
But I wouldn't want to play them because they have more to play for than anyone in the conference. It's not even close.
No, them and then maybe Washington State.
Yeah,
but even if Washington State makes it to the championship and loses, I still don't know if they get in.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is, and this is a weird team. You might laugh at me when I say this, but one team in the tournament that they might lose first round, but they have the capability of going on a deep Oregon State run, Arizona State. They've had some big wins.
We've talked about Arizona State a little bit.
They destroyed Colorado.
They have some really good players, and like the couple times that I've watched them, I'm thinking, how are these guys so bad? Because they've got really athletic players. They've got look to be good guards. I don't know. Maybe they're undersized against some teams, or I don't know what the problem is.
I don't really know either.
But then again, the only time I ever watched them was like the game that they would play really well.
The UCLA game.
But that's the only time I think I've watched them all year.
They blew the doors off Colorado, and then we had to play Colorado, and we paid for that. We got some questions real quick. They're popping.
Yeah, I see. There's a question about Ballo.
What do you think of it?
Well,
I know. I don't know. Maybe you don't have much thought, but on him, I don't know.
I don't have much thought. Okay. I don't know.
I
know you think he's been really, really improved.
Oh yeah. When Tabellis went out, he's a forward on.
He does seem to be playing well.
Yeah. No. When he started playing more, he played a lot better. The funniest moment is this game against, I think, Washington State, where he did really good, but he shot this mid-range shot, and the thing I read on Twitter, I still need to show you the video. They said it looked like he shot the basketball like he was throwing a head, and that's exactly what it looked like. He's not the most finesse. He doesn't have the most finesse, but he's gotten a lot better. I don't know what to say.
He kind of reminds me of Big Baby Davis.
You said that, yeah.
No, he's got like similar kind of mannerisms where he is big, but like every once in a while he'll make like a little sneaky move where it's like, hey, this guy's got a little bit of athleticism. He got a little giddy up in that tank.
That is a pretty good comparison. No, I think it makes the team better. They're deeper. I don't know. It's more about how are they going to shoot their guards and stuff in March. But no, it's been fun to see him do good.
The couple of games they've struggled is when they're missing shots. Specifically Krisa and Matherin.
No, that's exactly. I don't think he's the difference maker, but it's really nice to have him improve. And I mean, depth matters.
When Krisa is not hitting shots, he can be so brutally bad for you guys.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not just saying that because I don't like him, because I don't like him. But when he's playing bad, he can be really detrimental to the team.
Because he doesn't stop.
Yeah, he doesn't stop shooting. And then he starts trying to force his passing more because he's like, not like force. He tries to force more plays to happen. He's like, if I'm not making shots, I might as well try to make the highlight pass or whatever is going on. He starts turning it over.
Well, at the beginning of games, if you see teams press us, sometimes he'll just look kind of frantic. Mm-hmm. And, easy. And I know playing even the low levels of high school, it's not easy when being like a guard when you're getting pressed. But I'm just saying that's the reality. Like Tennessee.
That is one question I do have about Arizona. Is I don't know how their ball handling is against pressure.
It's not good.
I wouldn't think so.
It doesn't look good.
Because Matherin would probably be their second ball handler in terms of their starting lineup. And I don't know how great of a ball handler he is. He made some really nice passes against USC the other night. But
he's more of a shooting guy. Yeah, I agree. And then
he seems to me to be more of a slasher and then a catch and shoot.
Yeah, exactly. But eventually we calm down, but the problem is you get out to a bad start like I've seen us do when teams press us. If I'm playing Arizona, slow it down, make us jack threes, and just pressure us. Yeah, and you could probably.
I'd play a little full court zone press just to get them late into the shot clock.
That's smart.
Slow them down as they get across half court. And make them play late in the clock, and hopefully they shoot a bunch of threes.
So we got a lot of Arizona fans on here. So we could. I guess
when you say Arizona fans, you just mean your family.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Because no one else likes Arizona.
Well, that's not true. But yes, it's not a Duke. You're not going to see them. Well, you will once in a while, but it's not this cult following. I guess they're losing to Stanford right now. So as we praise them,
we were kind of jokingly talking about that earlier today too.
Yeah, come out and actually we were. It's like after this game where all these national reporters are like, oh, they're so good when they play well, and then they're gonna
Your
possibly lose.
guys' reporter, your local reporters are just the most.
What do you mean?
They love Arizona
Well,
to the point of almost delusion.
I don't agree with that. I think all the local. I was dealing with the UCLA local guys, and I was like, these guys are.
I'm getting dissed by your family on Instagram right now.
I,
Yeah. Shame on me. They said, Trenton, shame on you. Lots of people like Arizona.
That's true though. It's not like they do have a lot of big names went there too.
Yeah.
But
no, lovely. It's a lovely place. Bear down.
Terry's a really good guy.
How do we do the bear down side?
They do like the claw, but I don't like it really. I don't know. No, Dalen Terry's really good on the team. Actually, he just does everything kind of.
He's.
I know it was brought up in the chat, and yeah, I did forget about him, but everyone does. But he's like the best guy. What is he called by Rothstein? The best utility guy in the country, which means like he does it all. He doesn't always steals, blocks, passing. He doesn't have to score 20 to make a difference.
No, yeah.
So, I agree. I mean, let's stop with Arizona. That turned into a long drawn out talk of it, which I'm fine with, but people want to hear more. Montana State.
Yeah.
They're doing good.
Yeah, they won the Big Sky regular season title for the first time in over 20 years, I think.
And when's the last time they went to the tournament?
I think we said 97.
Yeah, yep. No, it was 97.
97.
It was 97 because
that's when Arizona won the championship.
So I know, but that's how I can remember it because it fit. Mm-hmm. And I did. So it's been that long since, which is kind of crazy.
Well, their head coach was on the team.
25-year drought. Jeez. Oh, what a story that would be.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be cool. I don't know. Do you like their chances?
Oh yeah. If I were to pick any of the teams, I would pick them. I think they're top to bottom. I think they're the best team.
Yeah, Well, there's still 2 games left, and they've already won first. So I mean, it wasn't like some close competition near the end here. They won fairly decisively for college basketball.
Yeah. The team that actually gave them the most fits is probably Northern Colorado, who they lost to the first time, and then I think they won in overtime, maybe the second time at home or something. So, I mean, it was really close with them. And interestingly enough, the Bobcats are either going to play probably Northern Colorado or the Grizz in the quarters.
And they just lost to the Grizz. And that's the thing. I think you thought when I brought up Montana, I might have been thinking of that game. I wasn't. Grizz won at home. Montana State won at home. I would not. I'm not going to argue. I think Montana State's definitely the better team. You can just look at who they played, how they do. I don't know. Montana has kind of been struggle this year.
Yeah, the Bobcats played probably their worst game of the season. The Grizz probably played their best game of the season. It was like an 8-point game. So I mean, that's kind of telling.
And it got close.
Considering the Grizz shot probably like 60% from 3. It felt like 60%. It was probably more like 40 or whatever, but. They weren't missing. So
and you think Montana State would be like a 5th? No, what seed? It's guessing.
Yeah, 15.
They're going to get a high seed.
Either
from
a 14 or a 15.
I mean, they almost beat Colorado, if people remember early on. We talked about that.
Yeah, lost in overtime to Colorado.
Which Colorado, I think they're like 19-10, something like. They're not a bad team at all.
No, yeah, it would have been a quad 2 game, I think.
Yeah, no. Actually, now with what Colorado is right now,
they're
top
quad 1. 70?
75, yeah. I know this because our loss to them is
quad 1. So it was quad 1.
Barely quad 1 now. Oh, yeah, Arizona's losing by 9. So, after we praise them, they'll lose tonight.
Alex Mitchell says, "Rip Bozo" on the YouTube.
Oh, it's on. We have someone. We're on YouTube right now too.
Yeah.
Number 2 seed. Yeah, maybe they will be a number 2. I don't know if that's that big of an insult, but yes, that's a great remark. They're struggling. I don't know if they do lose, they will be a number 2. Let's not. Yeah. I don't know anything else. We've kind of been all over the. Oh, West Coast Conference. Do that. You were talking about their bracket. You had a big change of heart. I got this long message this morning, actually.
I know. Yes.
I didn't know what it was going to be about. It's about that.
Yeah, so earlier this week, I was dissing on the West Coast Conference tournament bracket. Because what they do is they give their top 2 seeds, they give them triple bye to the semifinal. They give their 3 and their 4 a double bye to the quarters, and then like so on, everyone, and then the next 2 teams get a bye. But it's a really, really weird way to see it.
Well,
but
the norm is just giving buys to the quarterfinals, right?
double, yeah, usually.
Yeah.
Like the ACC is a double bye to the quarters because there's so many teams.
Yeah.
But it is really weird to just take your top teams and just give them all the way that far. At first, I was kind of upset because I was like, you finished 4th in your conference. I feel like that's kind of crazy to just put them all the way up that far or whatever. Even second place to put them all the way to the semis. But then I started looking at it more, and I was like, it makes a lot of sense for maybe not bigger conferences, but for little conferences, definitely. Because some of these teams that lose 5 games all year, and you think, man, they should get an at-large, but they're never going to.
That's true.
And if they should get an advantage for winning the conference. I think they should get to go to the semis in some of those little conferences because they deserve to be in March Madness, probably more than some of these 12-loss, 14-loss bubble teams.
This is big. I like this.
You know what I'm saying?
I like the argument. Yeah, no.
So what I'm saying is it just feels like you should give some of these smaller conferences more advantage to win their tournament.
Get them close to the game to get an automatic. No, I get that.
And then even if you do it in bigger conferences, you're going to get better matchups because instead of playing your 1 versus your 8 at the beginning, it's going to be like your 8 plays your 9, and then the 8 plays. And then
I don't know, though. In bigger conferences, I'm not sure I want that to happen. I think it's just because I'm used to not seeing that. So
that's what I was thinking at first, too. I was upset about it. And then I looked at it and I thought, man, it dang near eliminates all these games that could be blowouts in these conferences. Because it starts matching up. You got to beat a team that's close to you to advance, and then you got to beat a team that's a little better than you, and then, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, one thing with the WCC, I think their format actually might hurt a few of their teams that are – I don't even know who's on the bubble anymore. I know Gonzaga and St. Mary's are in – I'm trying to think. San Francisco
really, really helps them.
You think it helps like a San Francisco?
Yeah, because imagine.
But what if you lose the first game, then you're done? I don't think.
Well, it's a lot. What if they lost their first game when they were playing?
That's
Pepperdine.
I'm kind of thinking through this as I talk.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, my logic was if you're near the bubble, you want to win games. But also, I think you were even saying.
But it's not going to do you any good to win a first-round game against a team that's one of the worst in the conference.
Yeah, if you lose to number 1 in the country, Gonzaga, your first game, well, we can't fault them for that. So then they're still on the bubble.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay,
that's my thought. Is that it's smart by the conference because they're getting more teams in.
You think that's why they do it?
Probably.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. There's been some really good highlights from the year the whole tournament got canceled due to COVID. They had that buzzer beater in, I think, the championship of the West Coast Conference tournament.
Was it a championship?
Or maybe the semi. It might have been the semi. I think BYU had a buzzer beater or something, if I'm remembering it right. But yeah, it was.
That's slipping my mind. I'm not sure.
And when does it? I feel like that tournament's early. Is it going on right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
The championship's usually on like next Tuesday, probably, or next.
Really weird, but I guess they get kind of a standalone.
It's in the middle of the week. I remember that because it's always on like late at night on a weekday. It's really weird.
Okay. No, geez. Next
maybe
week.
It might be Sunday night. I don't remember.
Okay. I don't know. Anything else you want? We've been going a long time.
One last thing. I mean, Coach K's last game at Duke. That's a big deal.
No, that is.
There's a couple big games.
Duke, Carolina, UCLA, and USC play again.
Mm-hmm.
We already mentioned the Texas game and the Arkansas game. We're probably forgetting a few big ones. But, it matters because some of these teams are trying to get, bragging rights for first and also sets up seeding for the tournaments, which if you want to get an automatic, you want a good seed.
Yeah, so not this coming weekend, but the next weekend is going to be all the conference championships. And then right after the Big Ten championship gets done on Sunday, dun, 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 dun.
CBS,
Selection
I
Sunday.
saw it, and I don't think this question is a joke, and I get it now, but at first I thought we were being trolled. What day is Selection Sunday? But I think it's meaning like what date. I was about to say Sunday, but no. Yeah. So
That's why I went on my little tangent just now.
Was it?
I was
Okay,
answering that
okay.
question.
I figured, but yeah, it's not this Sunday. A week from this Sunday. So all answered in a less unique form, I guess. But yeah. So really, yeah, big week. I mean, this is kind of what people remember about. If you don't watch college basketball, usually people start tuning in like next week. So I mean, there's nothing wrong with that too. It kind of makes it cool when you have a ton of people filling out brackets and watching the games, even if they don't really care. But I like that. I like when people are like, "Oh, I picked this team," and it's like, "Oh, I don't know, they're the 2 seed." I like that. I don't know. I enjoyed this a lot tonight.
I always got a kick out of like last year, people that picked Houston to go a long way. So they're like, they're a 2 seed. They must be good. But like, they're so unproven. And then people like, and then they do really well. So it's like, oh
that's
man,
annoying.
they're so smart.
That's more annoying,
they're so
though.
smart. They picked Houston.
And it's Selection Sunday is the 13th of March, I guess, if we want the exact date. But it's what date? So given the answer. That's another question from the audience, but I think they just wanted like a week from Sunday probably was good enough for them. But there's the date too. Yeah, I mean that is it. I keep saying this, but I think I've had a good
been a good
episode.
Good episode.
Next
Hope you guys
week
enjoyed
might be 2 weeks from now is the biggest one. We'll probably
yeah.
Anyway, yep. Hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, good night.